Feel the power of your determination taking control of your breathing. Feel the power of your presence, your gift, right now in this moment. Now think about you doing your best today on all the exercises we do together. The gym of life. See, we are so powerful, we get to think, create, imagine in our minds, and make real in the world. That goes with everything.
Morning, guys. This is the way I see things. You and myself are already the entrepreneurs of our mindset. If everything in the world, all human beings, we all have a thought space, think of the thought space in the world. It's all connected. It's all energy. So if that's the case, if we understand that, then it is our responsibility every single day to live our life in whatever we do, whatever job we have, even if we're a student, whatever it is that we're doing, whatever thing that we do, it is our job to be entrepreneurs of creating our own mind space, our own thought space. And you have the ability to make it the most positive thought space possible. And that will affect everything around you. So think about that today. It's helped me so much. I hope it helps you. Have a great day, everybody.
You can change the programming. You can rewrite your subconscious programs. And why is that relevant? If you took the wishes and desires of the conscious mind and used that as a program to put the beliefs into the subconscious mind, it's the most exciting and liberating thing you can ever do in your life. You know why? Because once it's in the subconscious program, 95% of the day, without you even thinking about it, your mind will take you to that direction. And that is your freedom. You want to change the world, we don't have to physically go out and physically change the world first. First, we have to change our belief about the world, our belief of who we are in the world. We're not victims, but we've been programmed to believe we're frail, vulnerable, that we're victims of the world. And the fact is, no, we are the most powerful beings and entities on this planet. We want to get out of the box? Think out of the box. Change all of that.
All right, that's pretty heavy. Okay, change your beliefs. You know, many people believe they can't change their beliefs. They believe that their beliefs are who they are. And we're here to tell you that you can change your beliefs. He talked a little bit about your conscious thoughts, your conscious beliefs, and your subconscious beliefs. And he's right. That factor of what you believe can change your life. And if your beliefs are not serving you, you should take an assessment of your beliefs, because a lot of the things that you believe, and this is going to be your here, they're not your beliefs. Somebody gave them to you. They're gifts that somebody gave to you at a time in your life when you had no choice but to accept it. Because when you're very young, you don't really challenge the conscious part of your brain. Your prefrontal cortex has not really developed till the age of 25. So the critical part is not even developed that much. When you're young, people give you beliefs. You just accept them. And they may not be serving you. So you should check your beliefs and see if they're serving you. And if they're not, you have the power to change them. And if they are, double down on them. You know, make them a part of you. And I also believe this last little thing here about the word belief. BELIEF. 6-letter word. And look at the 3 letters in the middle, LIE. Half of what you believe are not true. So you need to find out what things are true and what things aren't true. For example, a belief that you're not good enough. Who told you that lie? You don't have to believe that now. You're not smart enough. Who told you that? You don't have to believe that now. You can change your beliefs. So, and you want to change them at a subconscious level, and that's going to involve affirmations, that's going to involve visualizations, that's going to involve meditation, that's going to involve getting around other people who believe at the level you want to believe at, and they believe in you, and you believe in the beliefs they have in you. You can change your beliefs. You are not your beliefs. But if you're not careful, your beliefs make you who you are. Let's go. All right, Jim. I believe we're having fun here, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. I'm speechless. A couple of things in there that he talked about was thinking outside the box and thinking outside of the beliefs that you have created for yourself. I think ultimately the life that you create is a product of the beliefs that you have in yourself. And if the life you currently have is not the life you want to live, you need to reassess the beliefs that you have so that you can move closer to the direction of the life that you ultimately want to create. He talked a little bit about positioning things within your mind so that the subconscious mind can ultimately take root and help you move in that direction. And I think in order to give the conscious mind the beliefs that you want, it boils down to getting in the environment that is going to drive the appropriate behavior and belief in yourself. Back to a lot of the content that's on this channel is about just getting around the right people who have the right beliefs and being able to take those beliefs and plant them in your own subconscious mind to then move in the direction that you want to create your life.
You know, I have a lot to say on belief.
Let's go, Evan.
I think lack of belief is the world's #1 problem, and that's what I wake up every day trying to solve. And we talk a lot about environment and content and watching the videos of the people who are believing the things that you want to believe. With this video, I want to take it in a slightly different direction, and that's community. When you can find people who believe in you, hold on to them. especially a significant other. But if you have anybody around you who believes in you, hold on, spend more time with them, hold on to them, seek them out, go look for them. An entrepreneur friend of mine was going to an event. He feels isolated, doesn't know enough entrepreneurs that he can kind of meet face to face. So he's looking for events that he can go off and join. And because he watches the channel and he knows me and he's been learning a lot for the past number of years, I told him, listen, when you go to that event, you're going to know more than probably the speakers who are on stage. If you're just going for knowledge, you're going to know more than most of the speakers on stage. So the goal of going to that event is not to sit in the audience with your notepad out hoping to learn something. If you go there, you're probably going to be disappointed because you already know more than most of those people. Your goal is community. So your goal is to go and find and introduce yourself to 25 people who are at that event, and to come out with 1 to 3 people who then you can meet in the coming weeks. You're going to go and talk to 25 people, introduce yourself, get to know their business, explain what you do, and see who you have any kind of vibe with, and then you can continue the connection afterwards. You need community. You need to be around other people who are trying to do the thing that you're doing. And if you start to outgrow your community, then you hop to the next community, and hop to the next community, and hop to the next community, but you get started where you are with what you've got. And so whatever it is that you want to learn, whatever new belief you want to instill in yourself, look at what events. Yes, use these YouTube channels, use podcasts and books and other content, but look at what events are going on around you. A lot of them are free. A lot of them you have to register and show up to. And make the goal not to go and learn from whoever's on stage. Make the goal to meet the other people who are there in that room, who are just like you. And 1 out of 25 people might be your next best friend, might be your next business partner, maybe the next person to join your community. Help you a little bit more into yourself.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
In 19
Good morning, guys. Today, Jack Ma shares with us in his top 10 rules for success the idea that of trust. Trust is the most important thing. It is the glue of life, Stephen Covey has said. Jack Ma says that we have to build trust. When he gives the example, when he started e-commerce in China, people viewed it as something that would be impossible to build trust. People always believed in face-to-face communication, person to person. So people didn't trust in the system. But Jack Ma was persistent, and his motto is build trust. And so even though his company, they don't see people, they don't meet people, they are focused on having trust. And it is right now interacting. You give me your attention, I'm trying to help you. We are building trust with each other. So build trust. It is the most important thing in life. Have a great day, everybody.
Your top priorities, do those first before you do your social media, before you reply to everyone's DMs, inbox, voice message, text. I have so many people, they spend all day just checking their email to reply to everybody else. That's fine if that's your job. If that's customer service, do that. That's your job. But if you're an entrepreneur, as an example, or you have a whole list of other priorities and you're just checking into other people's agendas all day to meet all their obligations, and you keep missing your key priorities day after day, even though you might be smart, you're competent, but your brain doesn't believe you're capable, you've got to develop the pattern, better yet, the pattern of taking the action to complete the key priorities. So all I want you to do as a daily simple habit, every morning, we do it in the high performance planner, I write down my key priorities for the day, do those first, get those out of the way, make that happen, maybe that's your morning. Maybe for me, I didn't feel capable in my career for a long time because I was replying to everybody, and I did a simple thing. I said, you know what, no phone calls till 1 p.m. in the afternoon my time. That leaves the morning to do the most important work. Because I do the most important work almost every morning of my life, I feel incredibly capable. Give me a task that log is happening in the brain. Good job today. That consistency, that congruence, develop the capability. Now I feel capable and I am capable because I executed. Because I executed so many times, I developed a skill. Y'all follow? This is so important. Watch the top 10 of Believe Nation because I love it.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I made these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Brendan Burchard, and my take on his top 10 was success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, accept who you are.
If you don't have self-acceptance, clearly you don't have authentic self-confidence. If you don't have self-acceptance, clearly you won't have an authentic sense of happiness because you don't even like yourself. So what do we do about this when I'm coaching others? Well, first, after I've tried to understand where that's coming from, that solution-driven part of coaching is about realizing there's things we all do to gain greater self-acceptance. Your self wants to realize itself, right? We all want to reach a fuller, higher standard of our potential, right? We all want that. I've never met a person in my life who didn't want to realize a higher level of potential for themselves or their family or their teams or their work. And I know some of you are like, no, you don't know my kid. He's 42 and he's still on the couch. I don't have a judgment for that. What I have to say about that is this. That person does too. It's built in the human spirit. We all want to grow. We all want to be happy. Sometimes we get discouraged from that enough that we lie to ourselves and say, we don't want it, or worse, we don't deserve it. Many people don't have self-acceptance because they don't believe they deserve it. They think that they did something wrong. They had other people judge them. They had that experience when they've had so much negativity around them, they started to believe that story. And so what I share with you about self-acceptance, it's one of the reasons I'm a very big component of coaching or therapy. A lot of self-acceptance is actually socially gained. You know, there's a reason that the psychology department tends to be in the same building as the sociology department because they go hand in hand. We are social animals. A lot of your acceptance of yourself actually has nothing to do with self-acceptance. Your acceptance of yourself came from how people treated you before. It was socially gained and constrained. You started to believe that you were at a certain level based on how other people around you treated you. Is it true? And one way to gain greater self-acceptance is to take that self part and say, oh, I'm going to do the work on me right now. I'm going to take some time to work on myself again, and I am going to lessen the noise of the negative people around me and get around positive people who amplify the noise of positivity. It doesn't mean get around yes persons. It means get around yes-spirited persons, people who are supportive and encouraging of you. You probably have one positive friend. Talk to them more often. Hang out with them more often. Lean on them more. I think that's critical. Because the easiest way to develop often the self is in our social environment. Getting other more positive, healthy people around us tends to lift all boats. The other thing to think about with the acceptance part is to learn to be in the moment in such a way that you can forgive the things that you did in the past.
Rule number 3, don't take things personally.
Calmness comes from not taking things so personally. Not taking things so personally. How critical is this, guys? We have become a Twitter nation. We've become a culture that completely takes things super personal, escalates them into, very aggressive language, high levels of accusation and assumptions. We just immediately go from, a simple incident igniting a fury of cancellation and aggravation. And I really believe it's because if you are consuming a lot of social media, are being conditioned how many times per day? Every time you do this. Every time you do this on social media, every single scroll, every single swipe is a judgment. Your brain is being taught, okay, is this relevant or not? Judgment. Do I like it or not? Like literally, do I press like it or not? Judgment. Is it worth actually giving this a heart? Judgment. Every single swipe, every single scroll is an automatic training of the brain to be judgmental. Why do we have a culture that takes things more personally and is more judgmental against other people? Because our culture has been trained by the tens of millions of times that we have swiped and scrolled through things to either hit that like or love button or not. And it has created a speed of judgment in our lives against others and about how we perceive ourselves. And so we have a culture that now takes things, everything is so personal because everything is judged at a heightened degree, binary, good or bad, like or dislike. And it's poisoning us. It's killing us. And so I think it's really important. What do you tend to get triggered by? What causes you stress or anxiety? And if you could look at it, a lot of it is what you feel are personal attacks, where suddenly you feel very defensive. And that defensiveness leads to stress and anxiousness because you feel like you have to defend yourself against other people. Maybe your husband says some accusation, or maybe someone says something on social media and you're like, was that a dig at me? And all of a sudden it's like, was that against me? And a lot of people all day long, they're carrying that. They're defensive all day long. And that's why they're stressed, right? Imagine if a warrior is standing at the gates of the palace and every person that walks by, they see as an immediate stressor, as an immediate threat. They're keyed up all day. They're stressed. They're anxious all day, right? Acid is just churning in their stomach. These thoughts of what if these horrible things happen in their brain. That's what it feels like for many people as they go throughout the day, because they're so worried that their personal feelings are going to get hurt, or that their personal reputation is going to be destroyed, or that they're having to be in a place of defense. And by the way, I don't play light about that. Some people really are. They have a very toxic person in their life, though I don't like to use the word toxic. I like to usually talk about, this person has a set of behaviors that make you feel a certain way. And those set of behaviors, sometimes we don't want to be around them anymore. We have to minimize ourselves in being around them. But almost everybody I know takes things too personally. They get so worked up. Everything is an affront against them. Oh, you criticize my work? Well, your work sucks. Oh, are you saying I didn't get that exactly right? Well, you don't understand. I had 5,000 other things going on. And defensive people tend to be weak people. And I don't mean that weak mentally. I don't mean that weak in terms of an awful judgment. I mean, they feel that way. The higher level of defense you feel, the more threatened you feel, the more you start to feel like you're losing control and strength because it's sapping you. The more you feel personally offended by things, the more sapped of energy you become. And I think this is so important. If you take personal offense to everything, if you're so precious with feedback, where every piece of feedback you get all worked up about and upset about, or everything your friend says about your house or your clothes or your hair or your makeup or your weight or your kids, instead of judging so fast about what someone said about you and how you feel about it, I would love for you to lengthen the timeline of judgment.
Rule number 4, expand your social circle.
guys, I want to share with you a funny story. It happened yesterday. I'm not sure if any of you know, but I work with students every single day, and we work on the power of our minds and how it connects to our health and physical education program. So yesterday with kindergarten students, we were working on that, and there was a part where I was so proud of them. They were all so focused. They were using the power of their minds to control their bodies, and it was incredible. So I said to them, guys, I could feel the energy in this room. Feel the difference when all our minds are working together. And you could see them. They were into the zone. And what happens, of course, with that intense, amazing energy where these young 4 to 5 year olds are so focused, a kid starts hiccuping. And it was so funny. I wanted to laugh. Of course, I couldn't. But inside I was laughing. I thought I'd share with you. Here we were building infinite mind wealth together. And then the uncontrollable happens. So you got to laugh sometimes. Have a great day, everybody.
We all feel that rejection kills dreams. We all feel that failure kills dreams. We all feel that people kill dreams. But actually, there's 4 words that we say in our heads to ourselves that genuinely have destroyed more dreams than all of those things put together. Those 4 words are, what will people say? What will people say? How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because you're scared of how people will react? How many times, out of the fear of someone else's opinion or criticism, have you stopped yourself from doing what you believe in? How many times has someone's perception or perspective stopped you from living your potential? No matter what you choose to do, there will always be people who find fault with it. There will always be people who criticize, complain, who try to bring you down and tell you that what you're doing isn't right. It's crazy that we give up what we most want in life just based on people's opinions. And the crazy thing is, if we're living for other people's opinions, we'll never be right. There'll always be someone with something that they won't agree with. And this is why it's so important that we work with our own conviction. We work on what matters to us. It was Aristotle who told us that there were only 3 ways to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. And I'm sure none of us want that of our future. So don't let anyone's opinions stop you. Don't let anyone's criticism hold you back. Keep following your passions, invest in what you believe in. And remember, don't let people's compliments get to your head, and don't let their criticism get to your heart.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Jay Shetty, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, don't hold back.
Real empathy is connecting to someone in their emotional language, not yours. Right? That's real empathy. That's real connection. That's real compassion. Is that you're able to communicate with someone and express your thoughts in their emotional language, not yours. And this is something we struggle with, because when we're feeling tired, exhausted, stressed, overworked, we communicate more in our language because we want to be heard, not realizing that when we fight for being heard, we actually alienate the other person. They're just disconnected because we're speaking a foreign language. That's literally what it sounds like. If this group is talking to this group and they're only talking about goals and schedules and plans, this group's going to say, but what about the people? What about people are exhausted? People are tired. What about how they feel? That doesn't mean they don't agree with you. They just want you to take into account people. It's not that they don't agree with your plans and goals and schedules and any of that. And you may sit there and go, well, they don't understand. They just don't get it. Like, we need to hit these targets. They don't understand. But you're both on the same team. You both need each other. Both mindsets are important. So then the question becomes, how do we care about people in the pursuit of our goal? And that's where all the focus goes. The focus now isn't well, we're right because we're going to hit targets and that's what pays for everything, or no, we're right because we care about people and obviously people are everything, it becomes, well, how do we hit our targets and care for people? How do we do that? If we both start having that conversation, you get some incredible synergy. So much of our life and society and our being today is divided. We have work and life. We have family and friends. We have personal and professional. And so many of our challenges in life come from the fact that we think we have to be in two places at once, that we have two sets of responsibilities. And when we talk about our well-being, we often think that's what we do after work. That's what we deal with when we get home. That's what we try and do on the weekend. And then when we're at work, we're wondering whether our well-being is in the right place. I've sat down and interviewed some incredible individuals, Jocko Willink being one of them. And when I've sat down with these Navy SEALs, I've talked to them so much about the power of breath, the power of presence, the power of stillness. We often think that force is the most powerful thing in the world. And sometimes when you speak to the strongest people in the world, they'll say it's not force, it's stillness. Right? Stillness is the most powerful thing in the world. Stillness creates more force than force itself, because that stillness creates clarity, it creates focus. So think about how you can find, again, just 2-3 minutes for that. All of these habits that I'm sharing today should take you no longer than 5 minutes each. And then finally, E, T-I-M-E. E is for exercise, moving, sweating. One of my favorite things is to see families compete over 10,000 steps. You'll be shocked at how much your partner is competitive when you all put on a Fitbit or a wearable or whatever it may be and see who gets to 10,000 steps first. The idea of moving is so powerful for our mind and our psychology. So those are 4 habits. Exercise probably a bit longer than 5 minutes, but the rest of them, if we could add thankfulness, inspiration, meditation, and exercise to our daily, weekly habits, you'll find that your personal well-being, your personal connection with yourself will elevate to levels that you never could have imagined. These simple habits have a giant impact. These simple daily investments have giant rewards. And they take very little time. They take very, very little time. And it's also a beautiful thing to bring to the table, to practice with your children, to practice with your partner. It's something that can be nicely brought into a family activity that makes it easier for each and every individual. So that's the first thing. The first thing is you. If your foundations are set, if you're feeling rooted and grounded, everything else is possible from that place.
Rule number 3, invest in your passion.
Let's connect our breathing. Body to our mind, to our energy. To our energy of determination. That's right. We determine. We don't choose and lose, give up, believe lies, give in to fear. We don't do that. We don't give in to anxiety, stress, things that are not the truth of who we are. The way you did your best today, whatever exercises, stretches you chose to do, it's the same process you get to use here, now, and wherever you go.
Thank you.